I am Vinnie Tortorich, and folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent when we start this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, just like the woman that's going to be on the other mic. Folks, she's been doing this show now forever and a week. And I'm so happy that she still comes on. There's something in the way she grooves me. She acts like no other lover. Leona.
Yeah, there you go.
There you had a whole camp.
I was going to wait for you to find it.
You had a whole campground, right? She had a campground.
Yeah, you said amusement park.
Yeah.
You're thinking like it's a Neverland situation.
Oh, it would have been an amusement park. If I were there one summer, it would have been an amusement park. Leona Jaeger.
You're the one who told me how to say it correctly. Now
I can't remember. Look, at least I can say Kurt Lapeard. Anna, I wonder if they have this on the jukebox. See, I can't even.
Abbey Road.
Yeah, it could be Abbey Road. I don't really know because I'm not really, everyone my generation, we hated most of the Beatles for whatever reason because they weren't our guys, but for whatever reason, we like. Wait, hang on. Serena just walked in the room. Honey, I'm recording. Is there? Okay. The dog came down with you. We're having domestic stuff going on here.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Bonds, you want to stay?
Yeah.
Stay with Eddie and watch your recording. I'm going to start yelling in a minute. You might get upset.
Yeah, no, he's not going to like that.
Scared. He would think that I'm yelling at him.
I know. They don't like it.
Oh, he's drinking water. It's so cute when they drink water.
I know it is.
Yeah, it is. I can't remember why. It's like most of the Beatles from my generation, they weren't our music. We were all pissed off at Yoko. We're like, what the hell?
I get it.
And it just didn't work for us because John Lennon wasn't John Lennon anymore. And I'm going to be honest with you. And folks, I know I love music and the whole thing, but I liked Paul McCartney and Wings, and also George Harrison on his own without the Beatles. More than the Beatles. I will say
more than the Beatles.
Yeah, way more.
Did you like John Lennon on his own?
Yeah, I thought Lennon did some good stuff. But you see, most of that was right. Put together with Yoko, and then just imagine
it's snake bit if Yoko's involved.
Yeah, Yoko just she puts the wet blanket on everything for my generation. So Yoko
Ono followed me back on Twitter, so I thought that was cool.
Is she still following you, or did she stop?
She follows everybody who follows her because she believes in an egalitarian Twitter situation. So
if I
once I found that out, it means less.
Hey, Scott Mulvaney, follow
Yoko Ono.
Yoko Ono, Yoko One, and that's all Scott gets to do because I do.
I think she still lives in that apartment where John Lennon was shot. Is it the Dakota?
They lived in a Dakota.
Because we went there. We've been there several times to try to find the spot, and it's not really like well marked, but like they don't even really mark the building like the Dakota very well. But Lucy was a big
John
Beatles
Hinckley
fan.
Shot him, right? Was it John Hinckley, or was that the Reagan guy?
No, that's the Reagan guy. It was. I was about to say Lee Harvey Oswald, but it was most definitely not.
No, that was.
It was a John. It was another 3 named guy, Cuckoo Magoo.
Who shot John Lennon? Folks, I'll be talking about some crazy shit today, so just hang in there.
John Wayne Gacy.
No, Mark David Chapman.
Mark David Chapman.
Yeah.
Knew that. I knew it was a 3 name thing.
Here's the crazy thing. Usually the middle name is Lee. But in this case it's David.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy thing. I don't know if you know this about Mark David Chapman, but before he killed John Lennon, he tried to kill himself. And someone stopped him from killing, like someone found him. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Is that person like, Jesus, if I hadn't have.
Yeah, like we don't need Mark David Chapman on the planet, right? John Lennon, even though I didn't like the songs that, Imagine and all this kind of, they're bullshit songs, and what I'm talking about. But the
I
bottom
like
line
that
is,
song.
the song was kind of crappy, Anna. I mean,
Oh, I don't think it's crappy, but I could see how the message would be too saccharine.
now I got to play it. I got to find it.
Oh,
Let's see if this is it. See if this is it. I'm sorry, Bill, but I got to do what I got to do.
yeah. Nobody will come after you for playing Beatles songs. I think they're in the public domain, aren't they?
Should be. Is this it? I mean, do I have it here?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a whole long thing.
Yeah, there's like he and Yoko are walking and it's foggy. See what happens here. 23 seconds in and we're not hearing anything except footsteps. I feel like I'm listening to Foley sound.
It probably is Foley sound.
Okay, so far I'm with him. Because the thing that got me in trouble, and people get upset about this with me, and because they go, man, you seem like such a spiritual guy. You're all for people and trying to help people, and why don't you go to church, or why aren't you religion? Or religion screwed me up.
People
right?
ask you, why don't you go to church?
Oh, I get that all the time.
Question.
It's like, hey man, I'll pray for you and everything. I know you're an atheist. They act
That's
like
fine. You can still pray.
They act like I had an amputation of like all my limbs or something.
Oh, they're praying for your soul because you're an atheist.
Yeah. And there's like, you don't seem like an atheist. You seem like such a nice guy. It's like, yeah, being an atheist doesn't mean you're the devil. It means that I don't believe in the devil either, because the hell I suffered in private Catholic school proved to me that there cannot be a God, right? The Holocaust. And all of the Holocaust, not just the ones, the Jewish Holocaust, but when you think about the Holocaust of Mark Garagos's people, he's talked to me about that. What are they? Armenians and all these. There's no God.
Genocides.
There's no God that will allow human beings to do that. In my world, that doesn't exist. So far, I'm with John Lennon. I might make a turn on this song today, Anna. I
okay.
can't want saying that.
It's you do you. It's your show.
Okay. I might be turning it. This song might be something I like.
Okay.
But what the nuns taught me through beatings and psychological beatings, which hurt way more for me than the physical beatings, was the psychological bullshit. Was there's no God that would agree with this. It just can't be. It can't be. Okay. And since there is no heaven, well, in my world, there is no hell. So far, John and Yoko walked a long distance, and then we heard some piano come in, and we learned that there's no heaven or hell, or boy, wouldn't it be great if there wasn't, right? So let's go on and see what else John has to say. That's where I start to take umbrage.
The country thing?
Everybody, no, before the country. Before the country. Imagine living for today. Okay? I get what he was trying to get at, but aren't we there now? And how well is that working out?
It doesn't.
It doesn't work at all.
Living for today, it does. Well, you got to be in the moment, but you got to have discipline. If he means living for today, it means not having any discipline. That's a problem.
Listen, you need to enjoy life. You need to be in the moment. If he means that, I do that all the time. I'm always checking myself. It's like, am I in the moment? Am I living life right now? Or that old saying.
That's very Buddhist of you. Are you sure you're not a Buddhist?
I might be. Life is what happens while you're waiting for your life to start. I've always been a true believer in that. And, me, I'm a big saver when it comes to money. Mm-hmm. You've known that from the first, you're the same way, Anna. Yep. Nothing was ever handed to either of us. So I can show you 50 cents of my first dollar. Call me frugal, call me what you want. But I'm not counting on anyone else taking care of me. So I'm always very, very quick to save the dollar before spending it. Health, my health, all of this, everything I do is not about having biceps or abs or anything else. It's how can I be optimal for as long as possible? Because the one thing we're all trying to do in this game of life is not being in a fucking hospital bed, because more people die because they ended up in a hospital bed. The reason they went in probably wouldn't have killed them. You know, they say, come for the problem, stay for the death. I mean, that's what hospitals are. Your mom went in and ended up with sepsis, or what happened, Anna?
She went in for a valve replacement in her heart and left not alive. Left
with a toe tag.
Yeah.
I hate to, Gina Grad's dad had the same exact cancer I had, hairy cell leukemia. The guy was as fit as you can. The guy ran 10 miles a day. Steve Grad was a freak. He worked out every day. He was at 70 something. He was lean and mean. The guy was amazing looking. Had the same cancer, same thing. They told me that could happen to me because the white blood cells were so crapped out and they had to shoot all this chemo in me. They said the cancer won't kill you. The fact that you have no white blood cells.
A secondary or tertiary infection will kill you, right? Mm-hmm.
That's what took Steve Grad out eventually. And the guy lived in a coma. And of course, all of this happened. And then compliments of the coronavirus, Gina could not even see her dad. And by the way,
awful.
I felt like I was living that hell with her because she's a friend and she was keeping that all bottled up. She does this show once a week. She does her own show once a week. She does Adam Carolla's show every day. And she does Tim Conway Jr.'s show at night, and had to go on all those shows for a year and a half and act jovial and like nothing is going on. And her poor dad is in a coma and she can't even go see him.
It's crazy.
She's got to go peer through a window and see him. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine John Lennon? But you see, that's what I'm talking about. Live for today, be present in the moment, feel. That's what we all want to do. That's what we all want to be. But where we don't want to be is, hey man, I'm having pizza tonight. I'm having wine with my pizza. And tomorrow night I'm having pasta, and bring on the fucking Krispy Kremes, because you know what that ends you up? That ends you up with type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, chronic illnesses that you can't even begin to understand how bad your life will be if you're living in that moment. So when John says that in the song, it gives me reason to pause and wonder what he meant by that. Should we continue with the song? And by the way, folks, I did not plan. If you're watching this on video, you might want to go listen to the show because the song plays on the show. I did not plan. Anna, did we plan any of this? I have one note in front of me about the show about airliners. Actually,
we have the same note.
No, wait, mine is about vegan dog food. Anna has airliners. I have vegan dog food. We're going to get to
your
that.
Dogs vegan dog. What are people doing?
This is going to be a rant from beginning to end. I hope my voice doesn't go out. I don't even have my Villa Capelli around here to drink. But let's get back to John Lennon's song.
Just stop with the vegan dog food.
Yes, I got more to say about that. I got to tell you how that happened, how that came up. I wrote this note right before the show, Anna. All right, you ready? More John Lennon. Let's see what he's going to imagine next. Nothing to live or to die for, and no religion.
You like the no religion part.
Yeah, no religion. Now, nothing to live or die for. Now, what does he mean by that? Let's talk about that.
Well, that sounds like apathy. Isn't that the definition of apathy?
Yeah, and I don't like being apathetic. I don't like with the sails are lufting in the wind. I'm always saying every day wake up and have a reason. Even if you don't have a reason, fucking create a reason. Just go find a reason. And if you're depressed and you're this and that and the whole thing, and you think, oh, red pill, blue pill, all this kind of crap, kids are going, wake up in the morning, create a reason, find something to do. There's always something you can do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. Just go do it. Right?
Yeah.
But no religion too. I'm glad that part I'm glad he put in there. Right? But even though I don't believe in religion, although the religion that I was forced to follow by my parents, because I'm Catholic, I grew up in a Catholic family, Italians, they're all Catholics, what have you. and some of my brothers have found other forms of, some form of religion that's not Catholic. So I'm not the only one, right? And a lot of the kids I grew up with go to different churches now, not the Catholic Church,
Right.
because of what they do. But, I think overall, religion is good for the masses. I know that makes me sound like the world's biggest hypocrite. I don't feel like I need it for me. Never wanted it. But a lot of people do good by having something to follow. Any
Great.
thoughts on that, Anna?
Nope.
All right. Anna's not getting into that. Okay.
No, it's not that I don't want to be political or divisive. I grew up in the church. My mom was a United Methodist minister. I spent plenty of time in the church. I think it's a fucked up organization, like any large organization or any institution. I think there's a lot wrong with it, but if it makes you happy, go do it. I don't care. I still do my own thing. Just put it that way.
Same here. My religion.
I do my own. My religion is my own thing, and I like it solitary.
Yeah, I like.
I don't want nobody in my business.
Biking. I like shooting my shotguns. I love scotch. That's my religion.
There was a time, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, where I turned and looked at Lauren, and I was like, "Isn't it great that we never have to go to church on Sunday?" Like, it hit me because it was just such a big part of my life that I didn't enjoy or cotton to. And I loved in high school and college taking religion classes because you studied the history of the religions, and I was a history major in college. And I was like, I wish they had taught more historical and socioeconomic context to what we were learning in Sunday school as kids, because it was just all like these stories. And I was, of course, the troublemaker I was like, oh, Methuselah's 900 years old. Okay, people, I was 5 and like that, what? Like, don't try to tell me these lies. None of it makes sense. But
well, look, I was questioning, the walking on water and all this stuff when I would ask the nuns when I was in school, but I was all in because, how could my parents be wrong? And how could every, Mr. Orso, the richest man in my hometown, he went to church. He's a smart man. How could all these smart, rich people be wrong? Right. So there's a reason to go to church. But every time I would ask the questions in school, come on, did he really walk on water? Come on, did he really feed 1,000 people with 1 fish and 1 loaf of bread? By the way, folks, don't eat bread. Come on, is any of this true? And the nuns would tell me, don't question it. But when I got to college, I was still going to church in college. Mm-hmm. I was still afraid. And I do mean afraid. I wasn't going to church.
Yeah, me too. No, I was terrified of burning in hell. And I was a Methodist, so I can only imagine what you Catholics were feeling. Oh, Methodists are pretty mild about their fire and brimstone,
Look, it's funny. I was playing football on Saturday nights, whoring it up with any chick I could find after the football game, the whole thing. And then on Sunday, I'm in church. Yeah. It didn't make any sense. But I went to a school that had a lot of Jewish kids. Mm-hmm. And what I started learning from my Jewish friends was they knew more about the Catholic faith than I did. And I was in Catholic school for 13 years. How did these Jews know more about my religion? They didn't give you all the details. They gave us no details. They just told us blindly follow this.
My favorite religion is the Jewish religion. It makes sense to me.
Oh, me too.
It just makes perfect sense. The whole thing is dialed in. If I were to go back to a religion, it would be that. But I also feel like if going to church makes you feel empowered, wonderful. Yeah. I've just seen it disempower so many people, myself included, that it wasn't for me. Yeah, and it took years and years of deprogramming that devil stuff.
But you know what, Anna? That's why I'm talking about, because so many people ask me about it. It's like, why? Come on, don't be an atheist. It's like, you're telling me to stop feeling the way I feel. I'm not telling you to stop feeling the way you feel. It's a feeling. And, when I realized that all of this, you're going to die, fire and brimstone and all this, when I realized that, wait, that's not going to happen, it was the most freeing thing that ever happened to. And then I had to, glom onto something else. So I went, so what is life all about? You start looking for, existential crap. Well, what are we doing here? And then I went, wait a minute. I'm just going to spend my life trying to help other people because other people seems like they're trying to help me. Right. And that became my religion.
Which, by the way, a big aspect of probably any religion, at least the majors that I can think of, is service. So that's, be of service to people, which is a very deep rooted core of who I am as well. I just want to be of service. And that's my way of doing it. And listen, my mom was a female ordained minister, not a deacon, a full minister, had her master. She actually had 2 master's degrees and went through, and she was early on, she's doing this in the 80s and 90s. And it was early on for females to be so prominent in the church. And the level of sexism that she went through was disgusting, that she finally quit early. She didn't go all the way to retirement. She quit and went back to what was her day job, which was working at the Library of Congress as a copywriter. And it made me really sad. And I asked her, because she never, after that happened, she never said to me, hey, are you going to church? She didn't bother me. She understood. And I asked her, did you lose your religion? She goes, no. I just didn't want to deal with an institution anymore. It hurt me too badly. And I was like, I get it.
Anna, what was your mom's position in the church?
She was a minister. She was the minister of the congregation.
But you said deacon. How does that change? How is that different than a
deacon is the first level of ordinance, I guess, ordaining, right. And then the full minister is after you put in some time and you get like your full.
But she was a deacon at one point.
Yeah, you're gonna play a deacon song?
Aja is one of the best albums ever in the history of albums. Bottom line. All right, Anna, we're gonna do a quick ad, and then we're gonna get back to the song.
Oh, good.
Imagine, folks, listen. Belcampo, Belcampo. Anna, go look at my Instagram.
Okay.
Right now, and go see that picture I put up on the Instagram.
Okay.
Let's see if it's there. Yeah, there it is. That was my breakfast this morning, Anna. You see what's on that plate?
Ooh.
You see that?
You got some bacon, you got some beef, you got some eggs.
That beef is from Belcampo.
That's the triple meats.
Oh,
you got the chicken, the pig, and the cow on one plate.
I had the whole farm on that plate. I did everything. And the meat came from Belcampo.
Ooh.
And I had it last night.
Why did you not tag them in the post?
Because Scott Mulvaney, I didn't tell him to. It wasn't Scott's fault. It was my fault.
Vinny.
And by the way,
make your sponsors happy.
There's a video of that too, Anna. But Scott will get the video up at some point. But yeah, Belcampo, I had their meat for dinner, and then I had some leftover, and I heated it up. And the way I did it, Anna, was I cooked my bacon first, and then I heated up my Belcampo, both sides real fast with that bacon fat, and then I threw the eggs into the bacon fat too. It was just the best breakfast. I've been thinking about that breakfast all day. As a matter of fact, I'm having more Belcampo tonight for dinner, and I'm going to make sure there's some leftover so I can do the same sort of thing tomorrow. Belcampo is quite simply the best meat that's ever crossed my lips. Bottom line. So go check it out, belcampo.com. They have the meatballs in stock right now. You can get that. They have chicken. Go check out their chicken. Everything they do, including the bone broth, is Vinny approved. Go check it out, Belcampo, B as in boy, Elcampo. Here's the deal. If you spend, you can spend any amount, put in promo code Vinny and get 20% off the first time. But if you put that promo code in every time and go over $100 total at the end, you will get free shipping. That is very important when it comes to meat because they have to ship this stuff frozen. So, it weighs a lot. You want to get that free shipping. Belcampo, promo code Vinny, Vinnie.
It's so hard shipping stuff that weighs a lot. Boy, oh boy.
Anna, you're in
and
the
we've
middle
all
of it,
we've
right?
all gotten spoiled from Amazon. So it's like the fact that Belcampo can give that deal, it's nice that they're doing that.
Yeah, go check
They're
out
definitely
Belcampo.
eating it on that for sure.
Oh yeah. So
that hurts.
Go check out what they're doing. Anna, I must continue here and see what else John Lennon is imagining.
No.
My entire life, Anna, my entire life. Back in the 70s, you know what we used to say back in the 70s?
What?
Peace in the Middle East. Peace in the Middle East. Peace.
Well, not happening. Not happening anytime soon.
No. And here we are in 2021, and there's still
same thing.
It just continues on, and it's just the way people are. You know, you can dream and say yoo-hoo and do whatever you want, but there will never be.
That's the part I like. Hoo-hoo-hoo. I like that part. It's like, you know what I mean? That's where he gets all hippy dippy.
Yeah, he does. And he's got the round glasses on and the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. He was such a talented guy. But living life in peace. I mean, really? It's never going to happen. Let's continue. Let's see what else John has to say. Here's why I have a problem. I want the whole world to live in peace. And I'm not the only one, he says. And right there, Yoko appears in the video.
Oh no, Yoko going and ruining it.
Okay, here's the deal. You want the whole world to live in peace, John? Why does Yoko treat your first child that wasn't her child, her stepchild, like a piece of shit?
That's right.
Do you really want the whole world to live in peace when Yoko, your wife, can't treat one of your kids with respect and still doesn't treat that kid with respect today? Really? Yoko, were you listening, or were you yodeling back when your husband was writing a song and singing it? You must have heard him singing a few times.
Probably yodeling.
Where's the peace for that kid? Which kid does she not? There's two or three kids. Which one?
Julian is the one, I think, that was his first son, right?
Can you look that up, Anna? Can you do a little research on that?
And Sean is the second one, is Yoko's, right?
Yeah, and
that's the one who Lauren was in class with.
With Sean.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he invited Lauren to go for schwitzing.
You know, Julian, Yoko never treated him, and I don't think he gets any of the money or anything. He gets treated like shit. Really? Really? You want peace for everybody? Why wasn't your wife listening, John? Why wasn't she listening? I need to know. I really do need to know. Find anything, Anna?
Yeah, Julian Lennon is John Lennon and Cynthia's son, born in 1963.
He's a year younger than me.
Yeah.
Now, why can't Yoko be nice to that kid? Want everybody to live in peace? Love everybody?
I think it looks like he's doing just fine.
I'm sure he is. But that over the years, there's been nothing but problems with Yoko and that kid. Okay. Imagine no possession. So they're in a big, giant white room with nothing in it. And she's opening up windows to the outside, right?
Right.
Well, even though you got an empty room there, John and Yoko, you're possessing a fucking mansion. Okay? A mansion. So if you can imagine no possessions, let's just turn.
I will say it loses me there.
Yeah, let's just, really? You were living in a friggin' Dakota. You want no possessions? Go get yourself
place
a
in a very nice neighborhood in the Upper West Side of New York City.
TP and live in that. That's a possession, but it's way less than what I'm seeing you and Yoko in here.
How a yurt?
A yurt. Well, it's still a possession. You know what? Go get yourself a hole in the ground with some twigs. If you want to have no possessions, right? Yeah. Let's see how that works out.
Go ahead and ignore Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Whatever that means, whatever Anna just said, ignore it. Yeah. Imagine all the people sharing all the world.
Oh, sharing all the world.
And right there, Yoko goes and sits next to him. Okay?
Are they naked?
No, they got clothes on. Thank God. Now, if you really believe this, Yoko and John, if you believe in sharing everything, what happened to that little fucking group you had called the Beatles? What happened? What happened to that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Your wife broke them up. Okay? You really want to share? You really want me breaking down your song, John? Because the woman sitting next to you now, she's the reason that you're not talking to your best friend from Liverpool. That's why. Okay? Now, we can blame the White Album on her because the White Album was great. They were already breaking up during the White Album. Everybody else came in and played on it, including, I think, Eric Clapton and everybody else.
Clapton.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And everybody else.
Guys do something because everyone came in on the White Album. We all love it. We get it. I get it. I'm good. I get it. But the woman that's now sitting next to you in the video, John, imagine sharing the whole world. You can't even get along with 3 other guys. Now, I get it. Ringo. But there's 3 guys there.
Poor Ringo's always the butt of all the jokes.
I know. Ringo is the best, by the way. Okay. Let's go on. We're almost there. Let me do
All
that.
right.
Yeah, let me just do this. Let's get on with the show, Anna.
Which one are we starting with? Vegan dog food or airlines? Because both of them are going to get pretty nasty pretty fast.
Let's start with airlines. You have an article there, right?
I don't.
I thought you had the article.
This one? No, you just said write this down, and I wrote it down.
Anna, there was an article.
I don't have the article.
There's an article that they want the airlines to start.
I thought we don't need an article. We know what they're doing. They're going to be.
We need to find an article. Can you find an article?
Just
like
find
everyone's been tweeting.
Find an article. Yes.
I've been getting like 1,000 tweets about the article.
I found it. New York Post. You know that bastion of journalism, the New York Post.
Yeah, the Post.
Matthew Perry's not looking great.
Really?
Shocker.
He's had problems right over there.
Yes, yes, poor thing. He does. Okay.
Folks, hey, let me just do a PSA. I've been talking to a lot of people. I do the consults and the whole thing.
Yeah.
If COVID has you taking more substance than you've ever used in your life, booze, alcohol.
Get help.
Just go get help. Walk in anywhere. Just walk into it today. Just walk into a 12-step program.
It's just your liver is not going to be able to sustain this.
Not only that, but your life will not sustain it. If you think you're having a problem, I'm just doing this public service announcement. I've spoken to, as you know, I speak from anywhere 3 to 5 people a day on the consults, and it's overwhelming. I have never heard anything like this. If you think you're that person, just you don't have to stay in A. Just go waltz into one meeting, see what's doing. Just go give it. Just give it a look.
Yep.
Okay, moving on, Anna.
That's great, Vin. I agree. In a measure that will likely irk flyers, airlines could soon require plus-sized passengers to step on the scale or provide their weight before boarding the aircraft. The initiative, which was outlined in a recent Federal Aviation Administration advisory, strives to provide new data on average passenger weights, as the current numbers reportedly don't reflect today's sky-high obesity rates in the U.S. In turn, this would help ensure aircrafts, especially the small ones, don't exceed their allowable weight limit, View from the Wing reported. To put it plainly, there's a pun there, the FAA wants to gouge how much fatter Americans have gotten to prevent things from coming apart when the planes take to the skies.
Well, look, the FFA is there to FAA, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is there just to protect all of us, right? I don't think these people have any other agenda other than to not have crashes happen.
Yeah.
Or
that is one regulatory body I would still like to see in the world.
I mean, look, they're the first ones when a plane crashes. We rely on them going in, getting those black boxes and what have you, and figuring it out. I like knowing that there's a governing body that takes care of planes around the world, right? We all use them. It's a common form of transportation. And as I was saying on last Wednesday's show, when planes, most of these planes were designed in the 60s and 70s. And there's been some updates since then, but the bottom line is metallurgy and all of this has not changed. You can't change those elements. Sure, you can use more titanium here and there and just do whatever you want. But at some point, these planes can only handle so much. These engines can only pull so much. And if they were designed for the average person to be 170 pounds, which is what it was back in the 70s, and now people are over 300 pounds. And look, I was ranting about this last week. I was just in the Atlanta airport. There were very few people of any kind of normal weight, very few. And this is sad. This is sad on all kinds of levels because we're going to break on. I've been yelling that, Anna, you've heard me say this in this podcast 1,000 times. We are breaking under the weight of our own weight in this country. That's a fact. If we think this pandemic killed 400,000 or 500,000 people and oh my God, this is the worst thing that ever happened. Oh no, we have a bigger problem and it's not being talked about. So when something like this comes up and the New York Post wants to go, oh, the FAA is, calling us fat now. No, the FAA is just trying to figure out how to not have planes plummet into the earth. That's all they're trying to do, right? And if we're putting too much weight on these planes and they're not meant for that, we have a serious problem. Does that mean we have to gouge people who are overweight? I don't know. Do they have to buy 2 seats? I don't know. Will we start making?
You're going to have to change the seats. The seats are not wide enough.
The seats are not wide enough. I talked about this on the Wednesday show too. When I was at the hospital with my mom several times, the wheelchairs are now double wide. They're double the width of what they used to be. And there's a reason for that. People can't get in and out of the smaller wheelchairs. I sat in one of these wheelchairs and scooted all the way to one side. There was enough room for another me to sit next to me.
Yep.
That's an issue. That's a real issue. Should we be fat shaming? No. I don't think that you can ever shame it. I don't know one fat person who's happy about being fat. And I've interviewed thousands of fat people, morbidly obese people. It's what I've done for a living for 40 years. Anna and I met years before I ever worked with her on this podcast. A friend of hers gave her me as a gift or something as a trainer.
That's right. And now it's the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm like herpes. I never go away.
Never go away.
Yeah. And
he tingles when he flares up.
Oh yeah. You'll feel me. I've been doing this since the early 1980s and I'm still doing it. It's 40 years and I don't pull punches. But we have an issue. We have a real issue. Don't be that person that has to be weighed at the airport. And you might say, well, what am I supposed to, what's it? It's like, look, they haven't started doing that yet, but they will have to. Don't be that person. Do it now. Do it now. I have a free PDF. I'm not even selling this to you. This podcast you're listening to right now is free. Don't cost you anything. Okay. That's free. You can go to VinnieTortorich.com and get a free PDF. As a matter of fact, Debbie, I wrote to Debbie the other day, Debbie Tortorich, who works at my website, said, Debbie, people are saying they can't get it as something. She made it easier for people to get. The guide to NSNG. It's simple. Just go there, get it, download it.
You used to have to put it in the cart. So it was kind of a pain.
I think, Anna, go see how you have to do it.
I'm doing it right now because it is NSNG. It's right at the top. NSNG PDF. Hold on. I tapped on it. It said Safari can't show the page. What's wrong? Is it down? Is she working on it right now?
No, it should be up. Don't tell me.
There it is. There it is. No.
It's up.
Intro to NSNG. Enable cookies because here's your free PDF. Free download. Okay. But here's the thing, Vinny. You have to tell her to do one thing.
Okay. What?
You do need to capture people's email addresses. At the very least, you deserve that.
I thought we were doing that.
No, she took that away. So she needs to put it back where they have to, where all you do is enter your email and then you click get my free download and it will email it to them, or you can look at it.
Here, let's do a little business while we're doing this.
Yeah. Because I won't let you just give it away like that. I'm sorry. Gotta be. And you guys, here's the thing, because I get written that too, because people want everything for free, and I don't blame you guys, but An email address is nothing. You can unsubscribe later, put in a little bit of work. It bothers me whenever people are like, I don't want to give up my email address. Trust me, Vinny almost never emails, and I email maybe once every 3 to 6 weeks. It's not an overwhelming thing, and we're not selling you on a bunch of stuff, but it enables us. The fact that we can make announcements to our email list is what enables us to be able to launch products and do that stuff. So please don't complain about having to give an email to get such a piece of content that will literally save your life.
Listen, usually when I email people, it's not to sell them anything, it's to tell them, hey, I have a new movie coming out.
Right. It's new content or new thing.
There's new,
absolutely.
There's new that. And
but I also I do want people to buy the sauce. I will announce it because we're only making 500 jars of each flavor for several weeks. And so I will use the email list, and people who are on my email list will get that information first.
Yeah. And I was
the best way to communicate.
We'll see what Debbie has to say. She might write back to me during the podcast, but
great.
Folks, listen, we have the free PDF. We have this. Don't
right now, go get it before she fixes the site.
Yeah. But look, don't be that person who, wants to be, who will get weighed at the airport, and then you're all butthurt and the whole thing. There is a way out of this.
Yep.
And you can do this. It's not rocket science. It's really not. I'm a guy who grew up on a bayou. I figured this out when I was at Tulane, and I've been talking about it for years. Just go do it. Go do it.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier in the show. This is my religion, basically. Yeah. This is me, trying to help other people by saying you don't have to be caught in that situation.
How are you not playing the REM song?
Losing my religion?
Yeah.
Because I was in a rant. That's why.
I think that if the airlines start targeting people who look overweight or look like they might exceed a weight limit, we're going to have a real problem. And I don't think that it needs to go in that direction, but, you have to weigh, you have to get on a scale or give your weight when you get on the smaller planes. Whenever I've gone on little puddle jumpers, you always have to give your weight and they weigh your luggage. So it's pretty mortifying.
When do they do that? Because I've never had to do that, Anna. Hang on.
I've done it on really short form flights where you're basically where someone's sitting next to the pilot, like Boston to Nantucket.
It's just the way it is, Anna. It's just the way it's going to have to be, Anna, you said you wanted something from your generation.
You will join a battle. I'll cook all the meals. I can't. Stop. Just stop.
Hey, listen, you wanted something from your generation.
You were playing something from my generation.
I know, but I thought you wanted something else.
Never that.
That's never the option.
That's never the answer. Paula Cole is never the answer.
Who's that band with the bumblebee?
Blind Melon. Play them. Bill is going to hate you.
I know. I'm not going to play. Bill's going to quit. Blind Melon. Every chick you knew was with one of the guys in Blind Melon. Like everybody you knew.
Oh no, but Andrea and I had a conversation where I was like, the lady who did my facials was married to the guy from Blind Melon. She's like, the lady who does my facials is married to the guy from Blind Melon. And it wasn't the same facialist. Right. It was other people who were married to different people in Blind Melon. And I was like, did everybody sleep with and or marry Blind Melon? Except for the guy who died?
After you told me that story, I mentioned that to someone else.
My facialist was with Blind Melon.
And they said, I know a guy who used to sleep with one of the guys from, one of the girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that band got around. That band fucked more than any other band in the history of bands.
Oh, that's saying a lot because bands be fucking, if I'm right.
Yeah, bands be fucking a lot.
Bands be fucking.
Yeah. I was with a girlfriend once at a concert, and we were up front, and the guitar player was throwing her picks and eyeing her up and the whole thing. And at the end of the concert, he leans over and says, hey, you want to come backstage? And she was like, I'm here with my boyfriend. He was like, yeah, he can't come.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, you're not invited to that party.
Yeah. Yeah. But Yeah, no, I think she wanted to go back there. I was like, look, you want to go back there and fuck a rock star and knock yourself out. But I can tell you
How
one thing.
progressive of you. I'll tell you one thing, you will get a venereal disease, and I'm not here for that.
Yeah, it's like, you can do whatever you want, but that'll give me a hall pass and a half.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yes. She didn't
what is that? If you fuck a rock star, your hall pass is like at least a 2.5 mortals, right?
Or, mini driver and a half or something like that. You can probably get.
You'll have a menage a 2.5.
Yeah, I can. Mm-hmm. Can I have mini driver and then maybe one normal chick, like maybe, I don't know, like the girl that works at the bank? That's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you should be able to get that.
Yeah.
Oh, the girl from Big Night, and then, just like a normal chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegan dog food.
Okay. I will talk about vegan dog food only after we talk about Villa Capelli, the best olive oil in the world.
I'm going to look at the site because Steven said he was sending more things stateside.
Let me tell you something. I was having some Villa Capelli last night on my salad. And, Serena and I just started talking about Paul and Steven and the whole thing. And she wanted to make sure the check cleared. And, I was like.
Speaking of,
did we, have you been taken care of?
No, not yet.
Oh, come on, Serena.
We're doing business.
Yeah, we're doing business. Cryptically talking.
Okay, they have the 3-liter tin.
Get it, folks.
I'm going to order because it's going to run out.
I would tell you to get 2 and then bring me one, but we don't live near each other.
No, it's so sad. I might get 2.
Remember the time I was going over to Corollas and I needed my 3-liter tin?
Yeah, we did like a parking lot thing.
Show and I was like swinging by your house.
And I was like, here, roll your window down.
Yeah, and I was like, what's the shortcut to Corolla? And you're like,
go, man, just
go. But I had to get that stuff because after Corolla, I had to go do something else.
Yeah.
And I was out of that. That's how important this stuff is. I would never want to run late for one of the biggest podcasts in the world where I'm in studio, but I had to get this Villa Capelli.
Yeah.
That's how important it was.
You have to sometimes prioritize 2 things at once in life. Yeah. That's a good use of multitasking.
And I figured, well, Corolla's half Italian and he would understand if he goes, hey man, why were you late? It's like, I had to go pick up some olive oil. I had to get my Villa Capelli. He would have understood that.
True.
So that's the way it worked.
By the way, next week on Tuesday, I'm going to have Steven on a Clubhouse. And will you come back and do Clubhouse again?
Absolutely. I love doing a Clubhouse.
And then I think more people will feel it because people have been telling me they've been lurking. They've been too scared to raise their hands. And I'm like, come up and talk to us.
Yeah, we talked to a guy named Adam the other day and talked to another guy and Jason and someone else.
Jay. And
who was also Jason, but he called himself Jay.
Yeah. I was just trying to differentiate them.
Yeah. Everybody was there. All the regulars were there. I think Kurt Lapierre was there.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to call him Kurt Lapierre from now on because I gave him the chance to correct you on Clubhouse and he didn't. So now he's Kurt Lapierre to me forever and ever.
I don't know what you're talking about right now, but okay. So yeah, that's kind of
his name is Kurt Leopard, and I gave him the chance to correct you directly, and he didn't do it. So he's now Kurt Lapierre because I guess that's how you say his name because he didn't correct you.
Yeah.
So I must be wrong.
We got a message back from Debbie. Did we finish the ad?
No. Let me talk about Villa Capelli for a second. Steven is actually coming on the Clubhouse, which I'm really excited about because he knows a lot about food labeling and people doing fake food because he lives in Italy and he actually makes real oil that's really good and really flavorful. And so we talk a lot about that. So I'm going to be interviewing him about that, interviewing him about how Steven and Paul came to get this property and decide they were going to say screw whatever they were doing in the ad agency world and get started making olive oil. And it is still the best olive oil on the planet. And I had a memory come up in my Facebook feed this past week about that was the week 10 years ago where I first met them. And Paul was like, you need to try this oil. Your oil is shit. And I was like, this guy he's just always marketing,
Yeah.
And turns out he was right. Paul was absolutely 1,000% right. And they've been a sponsor of this podcast for years now. They do make the best olive oil on the planet. It is tough to get because it only can come in small batches. So make sure you get that 3-liter tin, get some salts or some spices, add that on. And then when you check out, use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, not with the wimpy Y, and you'll get 10% off your order. And they offer that every single time. Oh, the salts are really selling out. So, get the sun-dried tomato powder, you guys, and the oregano. Those are still in stock. They're amazing. Yeah, villacapelli.com, discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. You will not regret it. It's wonderful. What did Debbie say?
I'm asking her if I can quote her.
She's yelling at you because you're.
I don't want to.
I know what happened. I know what happened. You told her to do the thing and she did it.
No,
and now you're like, no, do it this way. And she's like, well, I did what you said. I know.
All right, can I? All right, let me just make sure.
Do you have her permission?
She goes, better sense of my language. Yeah, but sure, whatever. All right, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
All right, so I wrote to Debbie and I said, are we still capturing email addresses on my PDF? And she wrote back, no, too many issues. Thought we would try this for a while. And then there's a second message, people are crazy. Then there's a third message, if they don't have instant gratification, they bitch. Then there's another.
Too bad.
So let's see how this works for a while. And then I wrote, can I quote you on this? And she says, of course. Better sense of my language.
Oh, Debbie.
All right.
By the way, it's super easy. It's super easy to just put up a thing that you put the email address in. People are used to it for signing up for free stuff.
Here, let me talk it in here. Hey, Debbie.
Don't say Anna.
Please make it possible to only get it if we get an email address. Period. Thanks. All right.
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So she'll be working on that and she'll be pissed because, it's double work for her. The woman works, everyone around here works their ass off. And then I say, hey, people are complaining. And then she was like, all they have to do is put their email address in. I'm not charging for this thing. And I would have made over
the way
$3
you
million
had it before,
now at $10.
I know. I
$10, I would have made over $3 million.
I know, but listen to me. The way you had it before was that you had to put it into a shopping cart like you were buying something, and then you had to check out of said shopping cart without actually buying anything, and then you could get a hold of it. So all that was too much. And then it went the other direction, which is just click the link.
All right.
And now all I'm saying is you put up a little thing and then you click it and then it captures the email and then it takes them to the page with the thing. There's a happy medium. That's all I'm saying.
So she's right. Well, then people will be back to bitching because they can't.
Good. Let them bitch. And that's not what I'm saying. She's missing. No, bitch, don't.
Period.
I do say that. Good, let them bitch. But I will say, no, if it's just, don't do it the way you had it, because that was a pain in the ass.
All right, wait. So wait, we don't want to allow them to put it in the cart?
Let's talk about the, no, don't do the cart thing. That's not the way to do it. Use something, use a program called AppSumo. Tell her to use AppSumo to use a pop-up or something like that. Create a
AppSumo?
Yep. Or just create a landing page for it. You capture the email, you click it, and then it's so easy. She's making it harder than it needs to be.
All right. So she'll listen. Oh, wait, let me do this. Hey, Debbie, listen to the Monday show right at about 58 minutes and you'll figure out what we were talking about. Period.
No, now she's going to be mad at me.
No,
she's going to be mad at me.
Debbie hates everyone. Most days I think she hates me.
But also let them bitch.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we go out of our way to try to make
call her afterwards and explain the workflow I just said.
It's too late in the day. If it's Scotch o'clock, we'll end up yelling at each other.
Okay, I understand. Well, this is
I don't think Debbie
dysfunctional relationship.
I'm not really sure. Everybody that works for me is dysfunctional. Scott yells about this. Debbie yells about that. One time we had a guy that worked on the show who yelled at me and quit during the show.
That's right. He quit during the Monday show.
Am I that difficult to deal with? I think I'm pretty easy.
I don't think so.
That's how Scott got the job, because the other guy said, I'm not coming in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know. Debbie, look, I tell everyone, Debbie's always right. If you complain about Debbie, you're the next one that's fired. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah. Well, no, I just don't want her to misunderstand, because I think what you're telling her is that she thinks to go back to the old way. And I'm saying, no, there's a happy medium way.
Okay, Debbie, listen to this podcast. There's a happy medium way.
She's not going to want to. Who wants to listen?
Debbie listens anyway, I think. She's a listener.
Anybody who works for you doesn't want to listen to this podcast.
I think Debbie actually likes the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, I love Debbie. I want her. If she listens, then God bless her.
You don't have to bother Debbie's ass.
I am.
Debbie likes you. You're liked by
okay.
Debbie.
Oh, it's okay. Debbie hates everyone. I love you. Debbie hates everyone. No. I know you.
She works for me and I'm scared of her.
I know you are. But because you don't know the technology, you're going to tell her the wrong thing to do and send her on a wild goose chase. And then she's going to be extra pissed at you. So I'm actually trying to help you.
Okay.
Help Debbie help you.
Imagine there's no Debbie.
Well, then this whole thing would fall apart.
Yeah. There would be no podcast.
No.
Without Debbie.
It would be you and I doing a Zoom and then sending it to Bill, and then Bill would edit it, and then it would just go into the ethers and it would not exist.
It would not work.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, Anna.
Vegan
so I'm talking to my brother Frankie today.
Yeah.
And he's pissed. And he goes, look, Vin, I know you have dogs. I know you have cats. I know you're an animal guy. I say, yes, I am. And he goes, I'm not an animal. He goes, I don't have a dog. But he goes, I read something and it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And I said, what's that? He goes, vegan, they got vegan dog food for dogs. Dogs need to eat meat. I mean, that's right. Just like humans need to eat meat, dogs need. He goes, these dogs don't have a choice. If someone, I get it. You're upset. He goes, these people are, this is bad for animals. And by the way, he's not an animal guy. Frankie has never owned a pet.
Frankie should own a pet.
His daughter has cats and other things. His daughter moved out.
He should own a pet. Pets are good to have. They're good for you.
He's got his wife. That's enough.
Anyway, everyone's going to come after us for this. I feel like this episode is like.
Should we just start over? Bill's going to hate me because there's music throughout the whole thing.
Everyone hates us after this episode, including the audience.
Okay. So he's gone, this is cruelty to animals. Dogs can't make a decision. If you have this dog in captivity and then you're feeding it this crap and it's not getting meat, this is cruel. I said, yes, I've been yelling about that for years. I said, Frankie, this is no different than vegan parents who killed their kids, their infants, by feeding them a vegan diet.
That's right. I remember.
And there was silence on the phone. He goes, wait a minute. That's never actually happened.
It was in England, right?
I said, it's happened a lot. It didn't happen once or twice. This has happened a lot over the. He was like, he goes, is this like one weird case like in Norway or something? I went, no. This has happened. There's court cases. And I said, here's the thing. The parents don't go to jail. They starve the kid to death and they don't go to jail for the rest of their life. They get out on some kind of cuckoo charge. Oh, they didn't know what they were doing, or they thought they knew what they were doing. No one is held accountable.
Like mentally unstable charge?
Yeah, like, they thought this was good. So look, if we know for a fact that kids will die, infants will die if you put them on a vegan diet, dogs will die, why is this still a thing? Why are we even talking about this? Why am I wasting 1 minute on this podcast with this fucking vegan bullshit because we know that is not a healthy diet?
Right.
Well, why? Why is my question? Why, Anna? Do we even know? Can we know? It drives me nuts. The whole thing. Wait. Explain they will have to add their email and why. Okay, Debbie's asking me to explain to you guys.
No.
Yeah. We need to bring Debbie.
We've already explained it. Do not call her. Do not call her right now.
Why not?
Do not. Do not.
Can I bring you on the air? I said, Mark. You don't want her on, do you? Anna?
I just think this is a conversation for off the air.
Okay. All right. I won't bring her on. I won't do it. Anna's scared. Look at her.
No, I'm not scared. If
you guys are watching this video, Anna's turning white.
No, it's just a conversation for off the air. this episode is fucked.
Yeah, this episode is over with. Is it? Have we done it?
Oh yeah, Pure Coffee Club is a good place to get your coffee. I will say that.
Yeah, look, I drank one right here.
Guess what's in my cup?
Yeah, I finished. Look, my cup is empty now, Anna. I'm sure
I got
on camera.
My Dubs French.
I had Dubs French too. That's what the kids call it, Dubs French.
Dubs French. I asked you on Wednesday, but I'm going to talk about it again. I'm going to go get the decaf closer to the time because my in-laws are coming in exactly a month for Lauren's 50th, and I am going to get Big Al 3 bags of the new decaf. And 2 of them, because he has to have his own decaf because everybody else is not crazy like he is.
Right.
And then I'm also going to get the honey process and the athletic blend, even though for years I've only ever had the double French. Because Lauren comes in one day and he's like, we should try that honey process. And I was like, are you fucking with me? It's double French or nothing.
Really?
But I'm going to do this. It's his 50th birthday.
Yeah. He's already trying to build a Jeep for his birthday.
I know he is.
I'm like all into this now.
I'm glad you are, because he keeps telling me stuff and I'm just glazing over. Lauren wants to treat himself to a vintage Jeep for his birthday. And I'm telling you, the man has never bought himself anything nice. Probably because we got knocked up so young and have had to pay a lot of bills along the way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, get your vintage Jeep, enjoy it. And so then finding it, sourcing it, figuring out the repairs. And the one he's looking at was like the exact one that you used to have.
Yeah, the 84. But here's the thing. I sold mine for about $3,500.
And now they're asking 24 for it, but it's really probably worth 17 or 18.
Yeah, well,
all the repairs.
It's going to need, it's an easy engine to fix.
Yeah.
But I started thinking about it when I got off the air, when I stopped talking to him today.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to pull the heads down to do a valve job, they might as well pull the pistons and do a ring job too.
Everything you said was like nouns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that, they should just go down to the crank and just pull the pistons and do a ring job. And
do you want me to hold on? Let me have him come in here.
Yeah. Have him come in and we could do a little Jeep talk on the air for people who like cars.
Although he doesn't want to be on camera, so he probably won't come in here.
Carcast. Yeah.
We'll have him come in afterwards. He won't be on camera.
Yeah. We'll bring him on. We'll bring him on as soon as we go cold. And I'll explain to him that, I started thinking about it. I was like, you're gonna do, if the valves are shot, might as well. I mean, it's got close to 60,000 miles. Might as well just take it down and just do a complete engine re-overhaul. It's not going to cost that much more.
Yeah.
So just tell him that. Okay, Anna. Folks, it's going to cost a lot to fix this Jeep. It's going to cost a lot to get that Jeep. So Anna needs to sell some books and some sauce.
Yes, that's true. But this is Lauren's money. And by the way,
a hell of a birthday gift, Anna.
Because he's getting this, I don't have to get him anything. Like, I don't have to stress about like, what do you get somebody for their 50th? I don't have to do anything.
Look,
he's
folks,
he's doing everything.
Anna, let me handle this. You don't know what you're doing over there. Look, folks, help Anna get her husband a Jeep. Go to annavocino.com, get yourself some Anna Vocino, some Eat Happy Kitchen. You get the gravy, as my people call it.
Go to Eat Happy Kitchen. By the way, Monday show announcement. I said this on the Wednesday show, but I want to tell everybody who listens to the Monday show, the pink crema and the puttanesca will be manufactured June 3rd and 4th.
Can I pre-order something right now?
Not yet. The site is not up just yet. In fact, I might not have the site ready to go until that time, but trust me, I will let everybody know because I want to sell the crap out of all this stuff.
I need inside trader information.
We're only able to make 2,000 total jars of all 3 flavors, and they will sell out almost immediately.
Okay, here's the thing, Anna, hang on.
Yeah.
I need a 6-pack, like you send it out to 6 of them in the thing.
I actually
need that
just made
for me,
2.
And I need that for Marie.
Okay. I'm going to have a 6-pack that's going to be a variety pack. So a 2-pack of marinara, a 2-pack of puttanesca, a 2-pack of pink crema. And that 6-pack the packaging's all designed for it. I will be selling that 6-pack variety pack. So I'll make sure to pull one aside for you and one for Mari.
Yeah. I need that because, and I'll pay you whatever. I'll pay you double for it.
You don't have to pay.
I need it. No, I got to pay. You pay for my coffee. I'll pay for your gravy. It's just the way it works. I'll buy you gravy, but just make sure that you don't sell it all because I know it's going to sell out. Really
it's going to sell quickly. The problem is with the manufacturing right now is getting, I would like to make 9,000 jars in this run, but we're not able to do it because we cannot get a hold of all the tomatoes we need, organic tomatoes on all of the jars and caps. It's actually really tough to get the jars. And prices have doubled on glass, by the way. It's very interesting learning how all the supply chain stuff works.
The supply chains, you want to talk about it? We deal with it daily over at NSNG Foods. It's crazy what's going on there.
And you can still get the sauce if you live in San Diego. Somebody ordered a case of sauce who lives in Encinitas, and I need to write them and be like, no, go to California Keto. It's less expensive at California Keto if you live in San Diego.
Yeah.
And also if you're in the Pismo Beach or Central Coast area, San Luis Obispo, what's near Pismo? No, that's about it.
Yeah.
Santa Maria, Carmel, Monterey. Yeah. Go to California Fresh Market right off the 101. It's a gorgeous store and they have it there for $9.99 a jar. I have to sell it for $12.49 a jar. So if you can go and get it in person, go support these stores. The Lassens thing is not working out, which is a bummer. So we keep going. We keep going. Yeah. We're going to get it in places.
Keep pushing, Anna.
Keep pushing. Oh no. And listen, when it's time to, like, y'all, if you happen to be talking to a grocery buyer at your favorite place, because I know y'all are menschy and you go in there and you talk to people, tell them to get Eat Happy Kitchen, request the product if they let you request products.
Yeah. You want that sauce, folks. You want that.
Yeah. So thanks for your support, everybody.
Yeah. And go get her books, Eat Happy and Eat Happy Too. Everyone that does the consults are always telling me, Anna's books and blah, 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 blah. Anna's
it really does make it. Once you read Vinny's PDF and you need to cook something, it really does make it easy. I even divide all the meals into a 31-day meal plan, which is at my site. Really easy to enter your email address to get that.
Yeah.
Tell Debbie to go to my site and she'll see how easy it is.
Debbie, go do what Anna's doing. I'm scared, Debbie. Don't hit me.
Debbie. I'm sorry, Debbie Tortorich.
I love you, Debbie.
I love you, Debbie Tortorich.
I love you. Don't hurt me, Debbie.
I'm sorry, Debbie.
Folks, before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner. It puts coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. Bookmark it. Use it every time because it really helps out around here because that's how we do keep it all free. You guys do that. By the way, Amazon does not give us anywhere near what we used to get. That's why I tell everyone about the Superfan page, and I appreciate it. I check every morning. I check my emails, and I get to see everyone who signed up for the Superfan page. I do not get to realize any of that money. Therefore, I will never have an 84 Jeep again. I use that money to pay for this podcast, which pays Debbie and Megan and Anna and Gina and Scott and Tallulah and Bill, who will hate me after this.
I only charge you for the Monday shows, right?
I do. And everything else Anna does is free.
I just want to make sure I get the credit for not charging you for other shows.
You get the street cred. You get the street cred.
Okay, thanks.
But, of course, Andy does them for free. I don't know. Just saying. Also, purecoffeeclub.com. Anna's giving me the eye. Purecoffeeclub.com. Would you like to do a Friday show, Anna, coming up?
Yeah.
Not this Friday, but maybe next Friday. People like you on a Friday show.
Sure.
We do a more straight-laced show.
I like them.
And we haven't done one in a while. I'll keep doing
we don't do an hour and a half on John Lennon.
Yeah. Well, we just did 45 minutes on him.
Yeah. But the Clubhouse that you did is going to be up on my site. Well, it definitely will be up by the time this airs. So that will be there. And you guys register for Clubhouse because now it's on Android and then you can come hang out on the Clubhouse, ask Vinny a question or just say hi. Just tell us about your journey. The whole thing with Clubhouse that makes it work is hearing other people's voices. It's not like podcasting. It's not for me and Vinny to just talk at you.
Yeah. You guys
to interact. We can't interact on this podcast, but we can interact on Clubhouse.
Your boyfriend from Texas, Bob Zimmer, he was there the other night. That's hot.
Right. He texted me to say he was sorry he could not participate. It was his son's birthday, but he will participate on the next one.
Well, will I be on the next one too, so I can talk to Bob? Or is that the one after that?
I don't, maybe it's the one I don't know.
No, we'll figure it out. Okay, folks.
Yeah.
On behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich.